Employers offer to help pay off employees' student loan debt. The big question, will Bernie, Squaw Liz, and the rest of the socialist clown car go after these corporations for doing so the same way they want to go after companies for helping pay employee health insurance? I'm Dr. Duke, she's Katie, and this is the Dr. Duke Show. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Duke program, the only show that keeps you educated on the craziness impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses around the world. This week we are tackling student debt crisis in America all week long. What is the problem, who is responsible, and how can we resolve it? This is the How Do We Resolve It section. As you are sitting around turkey this week, make sure to share this important information with your kids, your friends, and everyone else too. So far we have looked at the problem and who is responsible. Today, as I said, we will wrap up this discussion by talking about potential solutions. Before we kick things off, I want to talk to you about a holiday gift idea that will absolutely delight the conservatives in your life, while causing those annoying progressive in-laws to writhe and convulse with indignation over their Christmas pudding. Win-win, baby. Noble Gold is commemorating the leadership, courage, and vision of President Donald Trump with a special coin. Made of solid silver, it's the perfect gift for the patriot in your life, a gift that provides security and peace of mind in a world that keeps printing paper money backed with nothing of any substance. Paper thin and lacking all substance. Kind of sounds like all 20 Democrat candidates for president, doesn't it? And all throughout November, this attractive commemorative Trump coin is available for $10 off the list price, and it comes with a free display case. To take advantage of this Trumptastic deal, use the code FreedomProject10, FreedomProject, one word, number 10, FreedomProject10, and tell them Dr. Duke sent you. Long after your MAGA hat has faded and worn out, this Trump commemorative coin will keep appreciating and growing more valuable, like the legacy of President Trump himself. Don't miss this one. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com, that's TrumpCoin2020.com, and use the code FreedomProject10 for $10 off this collector's case and this wonderful coin. All right, on to our first story. Desperate corporations who have jobs to fill and not enough competent people to fill them have decided maybe if we offer to help student millennials who become employees pay off their debt, we will be attractive to them. And I kind of like this, really, because what the companies are saying is, okay, your big concern is money, so let us help you pay down those loans. This is a much better argument than simply waiving them, like, again, the Democrat clown car wants to do.
Yeah, the Finance and Commerce actually is the one who reported about this and how they're kind of trying to lure these millennials, and of course millennials, they're looking for any opportunity to get themselves out of debt. And so they're saying this new benefit helps businesses lure the prospective employees as they grapple with tight labor market conditions marked by a jobless rate near its lowest in almost 5 decades. And they talked about how one company they profiled gives an employee $100 a month. So you're a millennial, you come out with your college degree, you have $30,000 in debt, we'll say. We're going to give you $100 a month to pay off your debt, and then the millennial, only has to pay $30. Okay, you can swing $30 a month for your student debt when you're looking at $30,000 or whatever it may be. And they actually found that a study by a business advisor, Willis Towers Watson, found that 32% of firms are considering this, and more are going to have this by 2021.
I even think psychologically, if you, without letting the employees know that you're bringing in, you pay them 10% less than you would otherwise have paid them, they'll never know. Let's say you've got a starting job at $50,000, pay them 10% less without telling them, and give them back that 10% in student loan money, right?
Well, you might have to tell them, because in their head, if it doesn't calculate to $15 an hour, because that's the number that's been drilled into their head, the $15 an hour. So there's different ways to do it.
But you get my point, right? Whatever the salary is, I mean, why not play the adult with these kids? Lie to them, right? We would ordinarily, if all things being equal, have paid you $50,000. But because you have 8 years of college debt loan totaling tens of thousands of dollars because you wanted to study creative writing and basket weaving, okay, we will not tell you we're going to pay you 10% less and then give you the 10% bonus directly paid. And don't give it to the kids. Don't give it to the employees. Pay it directly to the student loan company for them, right? I think there would be a lot of people who would bite at that. How would they know?
All right, well, we actually have a story, too, about President Trump and how he signed an order to eliminate student loan debt for disabled vets. This was over the summer, and he announced eliminating student loan debt for disabled veterans in a speech at the 75th Annual American Veterans Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. It was in August, and he said, just before he signed this executive order, he said, "The debt of disabled veterans will be entirely erased. In a few moments, I will sign a memorandum directing the Department of Education to eliminate every penny of federal student loan debt owed by American veterans who are completely and permanently disabled." But I want to be clear about this. This is me talking now, not President Trump. But to be clear, it's not a new student loan forgiveness program for these disabled vets. Basically, pursuant to the Total Permanent Disability, TPD, discharge program, veterans who are totally and permanently disabled due to a service-related condition are eligible to have their federal student loan debt completely canceled tax-free. And the executive order that was put in place, it didn't create any new student loan forgiveness program, but it directed the Department of Ed of what to do and to get information from the Department of Veterans Affairs to make this whole process much more streamlined. And basically it means that our veterans are actually going to get the money they deserve.
And let me salute you, President Trump. This is a wonderful initiative. Thank you for looking after these people who have made the second to the most ultimate sacrifice for their country. I would like to propose something else. If you're listening to me, President Trump, and I know he's a Patriot Club member, isn't he?
I believe he
I think
is.
he's $25 a month, Donald Trump, and we send him things.
We do.
So because he's part of I know you're listening, Don. Here's the thing. What if you went one step further and allowed every serving vet in the entire military to opt to pay their student loan debt not to the federal government, but directly to VA hospitals? What about that? What if you allowed veterans, and maybe even give them a discount, any veteran who agrees to pay off their student loan debt at a 10% discount, that money will go directly to VA hospitals? How much better would that be? How much money would be flowing into VA hospitals to take care of not just permanently disabled vets, but vets of all stripes? Please give it a shot. Consider that, President Trump. It's a good idea. Follow up.
That's an idea I can get behind. One idea I cannot get behind is this graduate who decided, you know what? My solution to solving my student loan debt is to basically say, take that, America, I'm going somewhere else. Specifically, I'm going to go to China in this instance. In June, Chad Albright, he graduated from Millersville University in December of 2007. He got a degree, public relations. He says he can't take it anymore. He bought a one-way ticket to China to escape having to pay his student loan debt. Wow, they gave him a degree, and that's how smart he is. He said he felt like there was no other choice. I had to escape this debtor's prison. That's what America became to me, a prison. So I left.
And so he goes to the biggest national prison in perhaps the history of the entire world, right? The biggest national prison state. Outstanding, right?
He actually left long time ago. He's been gone for 8 years. He actually, after a few years of teaching English in China, moved to Ukraine. Ukraine, a country no one in America knew where it was on a map until a couple weeks ago. I wonder why.
Getting closer to Russia, right? This is Lee Harvey Oswald Part 2. Find some illiterate, goofy, run away from his problems American who's got a big helping of socialism, and let this guy now, after the Manchurian Candidate fields of China, he's now in the Ukraine. Just next you'll find out he's washing dishes in Putin's private kitchen, right?
Well, Chad certainly is not the sugar daddy that we're going to talk about in this next story, where apparently that's another way you can pay off your student debt or just pay for college up front. We have this website called Seeking Arrangement, and it matches sugar mommies and sugar daddies. And it's a company that has claimed that the U.S. Education Secretary, Betsy DeVos, was waging war against them. Because all these, student loan borrowers and what's happening. Basically what's happening is the Seeking Arrangement website pairs wealthy older men and women looking for, quote, companionship with younger adults who are willing to be paid for their services. And oftentimes this is including sexual relations, and they go to the younger. When they say younger, they mean college students. According to the Seeking Arrangement website, 30% of the money they earn by sugar babies is spent on tuition for these college kids, and the site has 2.5 million of the 20 million overall users being American college students. So 30% of the money earned by sugar babies is going to tuition and school stuff, and there's 2.5 million of them out there doing this.
Sugar, you're sweet. Come and lay it down on me. You know, I may surprise you with my take on this, but this strikes me as certainly straddling prostitution. But having said that, what do you have going on here? You've got adult men and you've got college-age people consensually coming together for companionship, for an arrangement. Again, we don't know. Certainly, no one's allowed to advertise for sex on these websites. To what degree is this something that the police can and should traffic against, right? I mean, if this is a companionship thing, or if this were a dating site, right?
It claims to be a dating
right,
site.
If it's a dating site where adult men, men in their 40s and 50s, find companions who are 18, 19, 20, and 21, once they're paired off, I mean, what becomes a donation, what becomes a sugar daddy's way of paying off your tuition, and what becomes an obligation to have sex? This is one of those really important gray areas. I just don't know what law enforcement does here, and I don't know that they should be involved at all. I mean, look, the federal government's being paid back. Lonely old dudes. Maybe that's what, if our fortunate friend who ran away to China, maybe if he were here, he could, delivering pizza is not going to be able to cut it, right? But the whole arrangement, while it sounds kind of icky,
According to the University of North Carolina's student newspaper, the Daily Tar Heel, what a name, they actually profiled some of these sugar mommies and sugar daddies, basically the sugar babies to these people. They had one girl called Anna, she's an anonymous student, who earned $12,000 a month from just 3 sugar daddies. And she says that at UNC, there are 514 students who are listed on the website. I guess that's just astounding to me. I worked a retail job and worked at the student newspaper, and there were other options.
I understand it. I get it. I just look. I'm not saying that the underlying premise is a moral one. I'm saying, what does one really do about this? You can't stop people from advertising for companionship. You can certainly stop them advertising sex, but you can't. And we don't know for a fact that all of these relationships are sex-based. We don't know that. So what do you do? I mean, it's one of those issues that really straddles the law. No pun intended. And I don't know what the answer is, but clearly the moneyed men are getting whatever it is they need, even if it's just companionship or somebody to pay attention to them. And the younger girls are paying off their student loan debt. But I can't. I have no experience with this. I can't. Once they're together, how do we know what they're doing? And at what point is it their business and not ours?
And what's interesting, too, is the Seeking Arrangement, the website itself, has said the Trump administration and the ones before it, they're the ones who are responsible for this. They're forcing students into sex work. The company founder, Brandon Wade, said over the past 3 administrations, wait a minute, that includes Barack Obama. Oh, no.
Why aren't you blaming the college presidents for this? Why aren't you blaming the deans? Why are you blaming presidents of the United States because idiot kids are taking out loans they can't pay back? Well, I don't quite understand how that means Donald Trump or even Barack Obama are driving people into sex slavery. It's bull.
Well, here's another solution. We have Kyle Hooten of the College Fix, who's been going around Minnesota colleges, interviewing students, asking them all sorts of things. And he's saying, hey, who should actually be paying for your college tuition? And of course, in true college student fashion, they give the best/worst responses.
Do you think it's economically feasible to provide free college?
I think that it's up to the 1%, the millionaires and billionaires who are hoarding a lot of wealth in this nation.
Our taxes need to be seriously reconsidered, and I think people that have an abundance of money should be paying more taxes, and I think that can help fund higher education for all.
Well, I feel like the government should step in because we have trillions of dollars that we're kind of, pushing to other areas of the world. Why don't we push some of that back into, the United States education system itself?
I mean, we have 12 free years of education, like if you go to a public school. So why shouldn't it be extended to like a higher education setting?
First of all, as I've said many times on this show, no 17, 18-year-old needs college. You graduate from high school, don't go to college. The average age for a college diploma is like 24, 25 now. So even if your kid doesn't start until he's 21, 3 and 4 years after he graduates, he'll still get done with his peers, right? 25 in this culture is baby. So from the ages of 17 to 20, 21, tell your kids you can live at home, but you have to get a job. We'll pay your room and board. You go get an internship at something you might like to do. Experiment before you go to college. Figure out. Try to intern at places. Volunteer. If you really want to work at a gaming company, go volunteer there maybe, or work as an intern to get a little experience. So while you're living at home for those 4 years, save your money. Right? Start saving much of what you earn so that if you have to go back to college at 20 and 21, you can pay for most of it. You don't get into debt. Another thing you can do. Do not go to college for your first 2 years. So you're 17 years old, you graduate from high school. For the next 3 years, you work really hard. You're working a couple of jobs, you're saving money, building up a little nest egg for yourself, and experimenting in different things. Then at the age of 20, you figure, okay, I think I need an undergraduate degree. I figured out what I want to do. I'm going to get this undergraduate degree. So from the ages of 21 and 20 and 21, still live at home, go to the local community college where the tuition is much less, get all your gen eds out of the way, pay for it yourself. So by the time you're 22, you've got an associate's degree, you've got money in the bank, you have no debt. Now you can go to the big state university for 2 years and only focus on your major, and lo and behold, you have the money to pay for it. So the first response is, don't get in debt. Most of you will not get that money back in what you earn. And if you are going to consider debt, then you darn well better be sure you're entering a field where the return is high, right? At this point, if you're going to be an engineer or an architect or a doctor, you're going to be something, a high-level scientist or something. Okay, it's a gamble, but the odds are good that if you're good at what you do, you'll make that money back. But under no circumstances should you go to college ever if you don't know what you want to major in. It is a big mistake to show up on a college campus and wait to find out what classes you're taking and then figure out, okay, maybe I'll spend a year as an English major. That didn't work out. I'm going to spend a year as a math major. Oh, that didn't work out either. And that's why it's taking these kids 6 and 8 years to get a 4-year degree. Figure out what you want to do before you go to college. And if that means interning or nosing around or doing research or actually working for people till you figure out where your strengths are, when you get to college, if you know exactly what you want to do, and you have gotten your 2-year associate's degree, got all that gen ed stuff out of the way at the relatively cost-efficient local community colleges, and you're not in debt, then you can afford to spend a little bit. But the answer to these problems starts at the front end. This is very much like the abortion question. If you are a responsible person, if you're doing responsible things sexually, then the odds of you getting pregnant, or impregnating your girlfriend for that matter, should be pretty low. Right? If you're being responsible. And if you're doing that, then abortion is indeed going to be rare. Same thing with college debt. If you're doing on the front end what you should do, being responsible, being a good steward of your parents' money, your money, the government's money, you're taking advantage of those years after high school when you're really still a baby in this culture to be 18, 19, 20. We don't even consider you an adult. Do what you want, experiment, make some money, live at home, save that money so that if you have to go back, and half of you won't. If you do what I'm telling you, half of you by the age of 21 will have found what you want to do without needing a college degree. And so you won't go back. And that's going to be to the shame of the universities, but you don't need them as much as you think. So my response to you is, debt starts when you do something wrong, not when banks do. Debt starts when you overcommit yourself to something that you may or may not do. It's not the government's fault. It's your fault. So do the responsible thing on your end, and you won't end up like these little morons here, right, who've overextended themselves and whose only answer is anybody but me should pay. That's embarrassing.
And now we have some solutions. As always, please share the episode and subscribe to the free audio podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and everywhere else. Just visit drdukeshow.com and click on any of the platforms on the top to subscribe.
And tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Give thanks for everything you have. Give thanks for being an American. Give thanks for all the blessings that conveys. Be thankful for your health and your family. And be thankful for us, too, because we are happy to serve you. So what better way to show how thankful you are than considering joining our Patriot Club? Keep us knee-deep in cranberries. Visit thedrdukeshow.com to get started. For Katie, I am Dr. Duke. Have a wonderful time with your family, friends. Enjoy that turkey and stuffing. And until next time, stay educated, my friends. Now pass that pie.